Hello everybody, my name is Vivek Rama. I'm the Director of Digital at Superline Wholesale. Superline is an apparel retailer and wholesaler that sells blank garments. So think blank t-shirts, blank hoodies, blank joggers. People buy our garments and then repurpose it for their own brand. In the past year and a half, we've gained a pretty substantial following on social. So today I'm going to be talking about how you guys can create content for your business. This presentation is going to be broken down into 4 parts. The first is some viral video examples for you guys to see. And then I'm going to break down those videos into a formula of how to go viral with short form content. I'll then go into the Gen Z marketing funnel, followed by some practical tips that you guys can use to start making content yourself. So starting off with some examples, these 2 videos alone garnered over 30 million views combined on Instagram. They helped us gain hundreds of thousands of followers, so I'm going to talk less and just roll the first video.
Look, anytime you're shopping with these factories, right, you gotta audit the factories. And the #1 way is you gotta weigh the work, make sure it's exactly what it is. So what I'm doing right now is I ordered a 400 GSM hoodie. I've been doing this long enough to know and feel it don't feel like no 400 GSM. But I can't say that to the factory, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the proof. I'm gonna cut the fabric and I'm gonna see what GSM it is. Take this little sample right here, let's weigh it on scale. What'd that say? 375. Then I'm short of me 25 grams. So guess what? I'm gonna need compensation for that. You know what's taking me off from the game.
So, a funny story about that video. The day prior, Eric, my boss, who you see in the video, me and him had a huge disagreement. The following day, he sent me 5 minutes of footage. I chopped it down into this 1-minute clip, and we got 10 million views on Instagram, 15 million views on YouTube Shorts, and we didn't argue for about 6 months. Now here's the second video, which is a trade show factory interview.
And what would be the minimum if I wanted to create my own jacket?
Also 500.
What would the cost be?
For 500, about 22.
How does this compare to like a North Face jacket? Similar?
Similar.
Better or?
Of course, lower. If I can do higher than North Face, it's unnecessary for me to stay here.
I see this has a Sherpa lining inside, right?
Actually, it's a detachable jacket. It has a fleece jacket inside. It's detachable.
So I've actually had a North Face jacket like this. It's like a fleece jacket inside the raincoat. So it's really like 2 jackets that zip together internally. And he said for 500 of these it'd be how much?
22.
And what would be the lead time for something like this?
100 days.
100 days. Oh, cool. Shoot, did it. Y'all want to make any jackets? This is the factory.
So, funny insight about that video, that was my first time being in a video. And that video got 12 million views, and we gained 190,000 followers from that one video. I also want you guys to note that in neither of these videos we're advertising our products. I said we sell blank t-shirts, blank hoodies, blank joggers, none of which are in both of these videos. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind for the rest of this presentation. If you guys don't follow us already, please follow us. We're trying to hit 1 million followers. We're Superline Network on Instagram, and our tagline is home of the free game. We offer free information for anybody wanting to start a clothing brand. We make educational content, inspirational content, and we also mix in a bit of entertainment. And I know there's a lot of business owners in this room, and this is the part you guys probably wanted to see. This is our year-to-date sales online, and we're comparing it to 2022 because in 2023 is when we started creating a lot of different content. If we're comparing to 2023, we're still up around 40%, but as you can see, content can actually change your business. This is with 0 ad spend, 0 influencer dollars, This is all in-house organic content. And when looking at our online social sessions, we've had 2.2 million people browse our website year to date today, which is over 200% from comparing to 2022. Now the part that many of you have been waiting for, how do I go viral? So we've broken it down into 4 pillars. The first is the most important part, and that is the hook. Most kids and adults these days are what we call doom scrolling. You spend probably 1 to 4 seconds before you decide to move on to the next video on your phone. That's why these first few seconds are the most important when creating content online. After you hook the audience in, you need to provide some sort of value. This value can be in the form of information, inspiration, or even entertainment. As long as you're providing value that is authentic to yourself, then you have a good video. For example, that video of Eric that I showed earlier, that's actually how Eric is, if any of you have met him. He looks like a crazy mad scientist weighing fabric. And as long as you're authentic to yourself and you're providing value, your video is going to perform well. The third pillar is shareability, and this is a newer one. So Adam Mosseri, he's the head of Instagram. He recently went on a podcast and he broke down the metrics Instagram uses to rank their content within the algorithm. So Instagram has likes, comments, shares, and saves. And all of these metrics are available in the Insights tab. Adam actually said that shares is the #1 metric Instagram uses when ranking content within the algorithm. So every time you make a video, think to yourself, would I share this with my friends? Would I share this with my family? The more shares a video gets, the more viral it's going to go. From the videos I showed earlier, you could see how somebody would want to send those to their friends and family, and those are perfect examples. The last pillar is branding. Will people remember that it's you? So this can be done in many different ways. Like this microphone I'm holding now, it's Alibaba branded, just as the microphone in the factory interview was Superline branded. A lot of people will put their logo as a watermark in the video, or they'll use a branded microphone, or it could just be you as a person. Some people are so unique that they themselves are the branding. Eric is one of those people. I'm not one of those people. That's why I have a branded microphone. This is what I like to call the old marketing funnel. Now, I'm not saying this marketing funnel is wrong. This is what they teach you in school when I was in university. You have awareness, top of funnel marketing, then moving into consideration, conversion, and loyalty. However, this consumer path is very linear. And with social media today, I believe that the marketing funnel looks more like this. And it's actually not even a funnel, it's a loop. So this is taken from an archival study group in Ayo Ogunde on Instagram. And Gen Z shopping habits are largely dictated by their primary marketplace, which tends to be social media. On social media, people want to connect with their friends, they want to be entertained, they go there for education, they even go there for news these days. People don't really watch news, at least younger people don't. And there's 4 pillars of this Gen Z marketing loop. There's community, inspiration, exploration, loyalty, and in the center we have trust, the most important part. Today's consumers don't follow a linear path. Instead, they navigate on an infinite content loop, much like the infinite algorithm when you open TikTok or Instagram on your phone. I wanted to highlight a few companies that I think are doing social really well. One is this brand called Drink Poppy. They're an apple cider vinegar carbonated drink. You guys have probably seen them in Whole Foods or Target. My friend JT Barnett actually consulted for this company, and his advice that he gave to the founder was just create a selfie video talking about your journey, how you got to where you are today. And this was the video. As a result, I'll play it.
Hey guys, my name's Allison, and yes, I got a deal on the show Shark Tank, and it was for my product Poppy. So I started the company because I was having a ton of health issues and I didn't feel very good, and I started drinking apple cider vinegar every So I went to my kitchen, created Poppy, and then I believed in my product that I quit my job, we went all in, we went on to Shark Tank, got a deal, and I found a way to make it taste incredible. So Poppy helps with boosting your immunity, glowing skin, gut health, as well as, I believe in it so much that I went on the show 9 months pregnant. So, cheers.
So if you guys could put your hand up if you think this video got 1 million views. What if you think it got 10 million views? 20 million views? 30 million views? 40 million views? Okay, it got 100 million views, which is crazy. And people pay for Super Bowl ads and they still don't get 100 million views. She made this video on an iPhone, probably a selfie camera, and she probably used CapCut on TikTok. This content is very genuine, it's very relatable, it doesn't look like an advertisement, and all she's doing is telling her genuine story. These days, Gen Z is more discerning than ever. If you're scrolling on your phone all day for 5 to 6 hours a day, you're coming across hundreds of brands. So it's really important that content doesn't come off as salesy or like an ad. So this video isn't going to play, but this is Essence. They're another company that I think is doing social really, really well. What they've done is, essentially Essence is a luxury apparel retailer, online retailer, and they've really created a community out of their audience. Like, if you go to their Instagram, you'll see the memes they make, stuff like this. If you guys can't read this, it says, when you agreed to running a marathon, but the only thing you did to prepare was get a running outfit. And it's just something somebody would say who shops at Essence. But yeah, that's another example. And now I'm going to move on to some practical tips. So you guys can actually get this book for free on our website, superlinewholesale.com. Our founder actually made this book. Well, I helped him make a little bit of it. And I'm going to highlight some of the tips within this book to help you create content. So number 1 is find your why. So beyond making money and increasing sales, why do you want to create content? So Superline, we sell to clothing brand owners. For me, I actually was a clothing brand owner. When I was 16, I started my clothing brand in high school. So my lens for content is I want to create content for the 16-year-old version of myself who is entering this space. I wanted to learn about going to trade shows, how to get into retail, what is the difference between retail and wholesale, and the more you dig deeper and find your purpose as to why you're creating content, the easier it will become. The second is Great Artists Steal. So there's this book called Steal Like an Artist. It's a great book. I recommend it to everybody. What I found from reading that book is that nothing, especially in the content space, is original. Everybody is picking and choosing from multiple different creators and then crafting their own original piece of content, but it's all stealing from other people, essentially, tastefully. You can't just like copy somebody. But here's an example, a more blatant example of if you want to create memes for your business. Here's an example of a meme we created. We saw a meme that said, "Are you free?" Me pulling out excuses. And then we flipped it, it's "Have you dropped those clothes yet?" And it's me pulling out excuses. This is a play on clothing brand culture. If you've ever had a clothing brand, you've probably designed a collection and delayed it for months and months and months and never put it out. And it's little content like this that we see online that we flip, and it's a great exercise to do if you're stuck in, like, you can't find ideas. Number 3 ties into my number 1 because I said I was a clothing brand owner, but you really have to be your audience. Put yourself in your audience's shoes. If I pulled a basketball player and I said, "Hey, can you create football content?" He's going to be able to create football content, but it's not going to be as good if he created basketball content because he's a basketball player. The same thing goes for content. Like Drink Poppy, how I showed her video. She actually drinks that drink every day and it helped her health. So put yourself in your audience's shoes and become your audience to create content. This is a tech pack from my clothing brand back in the day. It didn't make it off the ground though. Number 4 is kill your ego. So nothing hurts more than spending all night on a video and then posting it and you get like 10 likes and 5 of them are family members. And when you start creating content, that's inevitable. That's going to happen. And half of this content game is getting over the psychological battle within yourself of cringing and other people talking about your content. And you really just gotta kill your ego, get past that. The first 100 videos you make are probably going to be terrible, but that 101st video might get 1 million views. And that's just the way content is. Number 5, my favorite, is build a community, not a sales funnel. So I said we sell wholesale blank apparel. Well, people call us crazy for posting stuff like this back in the day where we would tell people where else they can buy wholesale apparel. It's like Pepsi telling you to go buy Coca-Cola drinks, so it doesn't really make sense, but we are building a community of like-minded people. If you guys remember the Gen Z marketing loop from earlier, at the center of that loop was trust. And by telling everybody where else they can shop, where they can get better prices, you're just going to get more trust with your consumer. So then when you have a product and you say, hey, this is the best product in the space, they're going to believe you 10 times more because you're so transparent with them. Lastly, we have spam the chat. Spam the chat means just post. In order to get to 100,000 followers, you have to post a lot. We started off with doing 1 post a day, and then we moved to 3 posts a day, and now we're posting anywhere from 10 to 20 times every single day. But it was a process to get there, but you gotta spam the chat, you have to post. A good analogy for this is if you have 2 people, one is practicing basketball, they're shooting 1 free throw a day, but then you have another guy and he's shooting 10 free throws a day. Over the course of a month or 6 months, that person shooting 10 a day is going to be far ahead than the person shooting 1 a day. So the more reps you put in, the better you're going to get. Lastly, I have some tools for creating content. So number 1, recording. The best tool you could use is in your pocket. Right now, it's your iPhone. That Way to Work video that I showed at the beginning that got 15 million views on YouTube, 10 million views on Instagram was all shot on iPhone. So don't get caught up in the gear you're using, instead just get to creating content. Same goes for editing. Don't overcomplicate it. There's a million editing softwares. I personally use Premiere Pro, but they have CapCut now. I've used CapCut before too. It's super easy to use. Both these programs have built-in captioning within them. And editing, again, don't get caught up in the gear, just make the videos. 3 ideas, as I said earlier, still like an artist. Go on Instagram, go on TikTok, go on Facebook. Look at other people in your niche who are performing really well and see what you can pull, but then make it your own. Put your own voice on it. And then last tip, consistency again. I just said the basketball analogy, but you have to post every single day or at least get into some sort of routine and habit. That was everything I have. Thank you everybody for listening.
Hello, my name is Devontae Peters, out here from Dallas. My question is, you said you posted 20 times a day. Is that like with one platform or is that various platforms?
That's mainly Instagram.
So 20 times a day.
We're not doing a hard 20, it's more like yesterday we posted 14 times.
Right.
But we're aiming for 10 to 20.
Yeah, so you know how people are on TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
that's one platform.
Yeah, we're cross-posting some stuff to TikTok and YouTube, but as far as converting people, I find that Instagram has the stickiest audience. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Karen Benz, and when it comes to social media, do you have to find the niche of who's attracted to your video, or do you put it out there and there's data required to sit back and get that information to say what is your niche? Who are the ones that are actually gravitating toward your website or your app or social media?
Yeah.
versions?
That's a good question. I would say dialing down a general niche is important. So like we're in apparel, for example, but our content kind of found its niche as we posted it more. And I think the great thing about TikTok and Instagram and the algorithm now is instead of you clicking on a video, it's serving you videos. So if you create content and it resonates with people, the algorithm will feed it to those people. Yeah, no problem. There. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a good question. I think at the end of the day, if I relate this to our business, because we've had similar discussions, and our founder is more so like, it doesn't matter. There's gonna be competitors no matter what, but people are gonna work with you because you're you. So I wouldn't be caught up in revealing any secrets, and it's like if they copy you, but no one's gonna do it better than you, and no one's gonna market better than you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a quick question. If you had to go back to your early years, what type of advice would you have given to yourself, for when you started the whole venture?
Yeah.
Just to avoid, those big, costly errors. When you stay
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty early in my career.
You can probably limit that to three tips. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would
I
love
would
to hear.
say when I started getting into this space, I didn't expect to be like when I started. I wanted to start a brand and have something like super hype and cool, but then I ended up in the wholesale space, which isn't like very sexy or cool. So I would say just trust the process, and the dots always connect looking backwards, not going forward.
Hi. When you're starting out smaller and you're encouraging putting out content all the time, do you have somebody just that does that only? Because how do you try to do your stuff and not be a slave to your phone?
Yes. To be honest, at our company, a lot of us are slaves to our phones. And we're on Instagram a lot, we're on the internet a lot. I would recommend hiring like an intern who just does social media full time. But for us, it's like we're just on our phones a lot. I'm sorry, was that it? I don't know if that's a good answer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes, I would say ignore the feedback. Like just post and don't even look at it.
Your workflow on Instagram. Let's say you're doing a 20 post day. What is the share between a post, a reel? How are you going to take that, put it into the story? Can you go through the workflow?
Yeah, when you guys get into posting more, a lot of you guys do post a lot, we actually use this platform. This is not an ad. We use later.com, and it's really good for just scheduling posts throughout the day. Your question to reels versus feed posts. Right now, if you're trying to grow a page on Instagram specifically, I would only post reels. I wouldn't even post feed posts. And reels are what's really going to grow your account. No problem.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different channels out there for being like posting social posts. YouTube, Instagram. You mentioned some of them. So how do you manage all of that, and where do you decide where to post, and should you be posting on all of them?
Yeah. So our main priority is Instagram, just because we find that transitioning somebody from somebody who just like watches you to buy something tends to be Instagram, and just engagement levels. I feel like our audience, like their age group, they're on Instagram more, so we prioritize Instagram. I would say they're all important, but if I were to rank them, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, I would do Instagram, YouTube, and then TikTok, just from what I've seen in the past few years. I have one back there.
What's your opinion on, for a small business, on informational content versus content that's trying to go viral, like using the sound and something like that, like the split between those two?
I think informational content tends to perform the best because it's very shareable, but I think what performs even better is mixing information with entertainment. Like the first video I showed of Eric explaining grams per square meter in the GSM cutter, it's very informational, but it's also very like silly and funny. And I think if you can find a way to combine those worlds, then you're in a really good place. So our page we recently switched our username to Superline Network, so our pages think like Hypebeast, Complex, like we're posting news stuff, so a lot of it is just news that happens, like if Supreme has a new drop, like we'll post stuff like that. The news posts are a lot more low lift than like an Instagram reel that we have to record and edit. So we balance like hard posts and easy posts, is what we say.
I have a follow-up question. You mentioned TikTok. You put it as the lowest, I guess, priority. Why is that? Because I keep hearing TikTok is the place to be.
I think, well, it depends on who you ask. Everyone will have a different opinion. I think TikTok is a great place to blow up, but then after you blow up, from people I know in the space, the algorithm doesn't feed it to all of your followers as much as Instagram. Instagram, the engagement levels tend to be higher than TikTok, but TikTok is the #1 platform for discoverability, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So for the first question, we do cut it up. We get, how our workflow works is me or another editor will get 5 to 10 minutes of footage. We'll scan it for the stuff that I said earlier, like the hook, the value, the shareability, and then we'll just cut it into however many videos we think it can be. And then our conversion, our call to action is data. Throughout all of this content, we're collecting email addresses, phone numbers. So we have a pretty big email list, a pretty big phone number list, and we try not to sell anything directly in the content. Maybe we'll do a few times a week. But where we're really converting is the email marketing and the SMS marketing. And the social is just casting the widest net as possible. Yeah.
In the interest of time, we only have the last question.
Last question.
Yeah.
Sorry, you asked a question, so but I'll talk to you after.
Do you guys have a YouTube channel? If so,
Yes.
will you load this to it?
We have a Superline Wholesale or Superline Network on YouTube. Yeah, if Alibaba allows us. Cool. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Vivek. Now let's welcome Lawrence and his team from Slope.